Right, guys, let's get into it. There are three massive mistakes that I've been seeing people make recently. It's been driving me absolutely nuts. So I had to shoot a video about this, all right? This happens every single time, almost every single time, probably 95% of the time when somebody comes to us and they want to launch a low ticket offer, they make these mistakes, right? That I'm going to get into. My camera's a bit choppy, okay, but bear with me, okay? I'm just freestyling this. Um, People make this mistake all the time with their low ticket offers. Now, just to clarify, a low ticket offer is the most effective way to grow a coaching or a consulting business in 2026. Skepticism is higher than ever. Ad costs are higher than ever. Okay, so anything free, anything where you have to put your own money in to give something away for free and not make any money back makes it very difficult to scale because you can't recoup your ad spend. So if you're running a webinar to cold traffic, if you're running a lead magnet funnel, like a challenge funnel, like all of these things can work well middle of funnel, right? Like to your warm audience. But when it comes to actually growing your audience on the front end, you want to use something paid. You want to use a low ticket offer. Now, historically, I've always used a book. Okay, I have run a couple of like lower ticket trainings as well, but primarily a book we've seen great results with. However, with that being said, we've got clients at the minute who are crushing it with like templates and things of that nature, and also like short workshops. Okay, like I've got a client who teaches people to use like a very specific software tool, and they're doing like 2,000 sales a month on the front end with like a training. Because if you have to show somebody how to use a software tool, you're not going to use a book, right? It's like it's like there's no emotion. It's the least effective way to try and teach that. Um, but the premise is you need a low ticket offer on the front end if you're trying to grow a coaching or a consulting business. It's another topic. I'm not going to get into it right now, but essentially, when you have a low ticket offer on the front end, you have a couple of order bumps, a couple of upsells. You can spend paid ads to bring people in. As people go through that funnel, you make all of your money back immediately. So essentially, you have a $0 acquisition cost. Then you can ascend them into your back end offer at 100% profit. Whereas with anything free, lead magnets, challenges, webinars, book a call funnels, whatever, your bank balance goes down as you run ads. This is why a lot of people don't want to run ads, because you turn your ads on and you spend $100, $300, $500, maybe $1,000. You haven't got a client yet. Then you start to shit your pants, right? You turn the ads off. That doesn't happen when you have money coming back in at the same time. So I just want to touch on this kind of critical mistake because I don't want to go too far off track that I see people making. But let me just quickly share my screen, right? Just as a little bit of proof of concept here. So you can see over, I think my camera is probably in the way, but you can see over here, these are daily Stripe transactions, daily Stripe payouts, right? You can see over here, 5, 3, 5, 8, 12, 4, 2, 3, 5. So we're doing this right now, right? That's essentially the point I'm trying to make here. Obviously, this is not from low ticket sales. This is from client revenue, but 100% of our clients come from our low ticket offer, right? Personally, I don't run anything free in my business, right? I always use a paid front end offer, whether that's a book, whether it's a kind of a masterclass workshop, kind of bite size style training. The gist of it is the only thing that's really going to allow you this level of scale is to run a low ticket offer. I know I'm yapping a bit, right? But like, I just need to explain this to you. The only thing that's going to allow you this level of scale is a low ticket offer. And, you'll see people out there pushing webinars, pushing organic marketing, pushing personal branding and all this stuff, right? But if you look at what they're doing, not what they're teaching, you'll see that they all have low ticket offers. Yeah. There's people out there teaching, webinars, but they're not getting their clients through webinars. They're getting their clients off the back of a $27 webinar, mini course. So you need to look at what people are doing, not what they're teaching. And everybody is doing this. So I always make sure that let me just switch back. I always make sure that I practice what I preach. Like, you'll never see me teaching one thing and doing another thing. You'll never see that. I teach low ticket offers because it's fucking amazing. Or I can use the F word now because we're not in the first 30 seconds of the video or whatever it is. Low ticket offers are the best, right? When you can spend money on ads and it comes back at the same time, it's almost like Facebook. It's almost like you spend $100 on Facebook and then Facebook is like, here you go, you can have that money back. Like, that's not directly how it happens, but it's like getting a refund. And then you spend it again and you get a refund again, and you spend it again and you get a refund again. It's the best. Anyway, that's not what this video is about. What this video is about is 3 massive mistakes that I see people making with their low ticket offers. So lock in here, because I'm about to kind of spit some game which is going to be useful for you, all right? If you do want to learn more just about the model in general, check out the video down in the description, right? I've got a training where I just go like way more in depth on all of this and basically run through exactly how we hit those numbers that I just showed you, all right? Let me just have a little bit of my caffeine so that the brain's firing. Nothing like a white monster. Right. So this is like one big mistake that people make, but there are kind of 3 little mistakes within it. Yeah. So the main issue, right? The main fuck up that people make, all right, is pulling shit from the archive. That's the problem. That's a massive problem people have when they want to launch a low ticket offer. So almost every time that I speak to someone and they're like, Ryan, I want to launch a low ticket funnel, I want to scale my business with a low ticket funnel, I'm like, okay, cool. What are we going to use as your front end offer? What ideas do you have? And 9 times out of 10, people will say, oh, I've got loads of shit that I've created over the years. I could probably find all kind. I could find something that we could sell. And I'm like, no, do not do that. When you run a low ticket funnel, you don't just pull something out of the archive and start selling it. The strategy has to be dialed in from the beginning to the end of this. Yeah. So everything has to be built for purpose. Now, what you want to do here, let me explain how to do this correctly. All right. So first of all, your front end should naturally, I can't write as quick as I can speak, unfortunately, should naturally lead into whatever it is that you're offering on the back end, right? Your front end offer should, when someone goes through your front end offer, they should finish it and they're like, right, now I want the full thing. Yeah. So let's say, for example, and you can apply this to whatever your niche is. Yeah. But if I just give you an example as like if you're a health coach and you help, menopausal women lose 30 pounds in 90 days. Yeah. Well, on the front end, you want to offer something that gets people like a real quick result. Yeah. It's a piece of the pie. It's not the whole pie. It doesn't help them get the whole result because then they're not going to need to work with you. Yeah. But it has to get them a quick result. You can't just offer information, and you don't want to offer something where it's going to take them forever to actually get results from it. So a good example of that might be something like, Like lose 5 pounds in 7 days. Yeah, I would recommend 7 days is the time frame, is like the maximum time frame in which you want to get people a result. You don't want to sell something where it's going to take them 30 days or 60 days or 90 days to get the result from it, because people aren't going to ascend into your back end offer. Yeah. So you could do like a 7 day belly blaster challenge. I don't know. It's just crap name off the top of my head. But you could do like a 7 day belly blaster challenge, lose 5 pounds in the next 7 days, guaranteed all your money back. That could be a great offer. Yeah. And the reason for that is they're going to go through this 7 day thing, they're going to get results, and then they're going to be like, right, now I want to lose like another 25, 30 pounds. Yeah. And I know this person can help me because they've just proven it. So it should naturally lead into your back end offer. What you don't want to do, which I see so many people do, is they'll be like, oh, my back end program is I help, menopausal women lose weight. So on my front end, I'm going to have like a workout plan. Like, what? They can just Google a workout plan. And even if you have the best workout plan, it's going to take them ages to get results or to really see results, or they'll offer like some ebook, and it's like, it's not going to get them the result. Yeah, you have to offer something that gets them the result. Now, the best way to kind of come up with this is to look at your existing back end offer. Let's say it's a coaching program or whatever. Okay. And look at the way that your process is structured, because you should have a process that you take people through in order to get the result. If you don't, then you've got bigger problems to worry about rather than watching this video, right? But you should have a process that takes them through how to get the result. Look at either the first part of your process, okay, because oftentimes that will be like the part that gets them the quick win. Or you can kind of look at your process as a whole and see if there's anything within your process that makes sense that will get them a result, but it won't get them the entire result. Okay. But you definitely want it to be part of your process. And then what you can do is, in this low ticket offer, this is slightly more kind of advanced, right? So it will take me ages if I go into this really in depth. But in your low ticket offer, you can show them the whole process, right? Not teach them the whole process, but show them, right, there are these 4 steps, for example, to getting the result. This particular product, I'm going to help you with this step, okay? But you need this and this and this if you really want to get the result, okay? And then you help them get that one step. And then at the end, you can reiterate, right, you've now nailed this step, but obviously there's this step, this step, this step. Schedule a call and I'll help you with all of it, right? So that's kind of how you want to frame it without kind of going too in depth, because I don't want this video to be too long, all right? But that's a massive place where people mess up. Now, that's basically the first mistake, right? There's 3 mistakes that make up this mistake, right? So the second mistake is using random shit for order bumps. So again, oftentimes I work with someone, we'll get the front end offer dialed in, and then you attack the rest of the funnel, right? Now, before you attack the rest of the funnel, you want to validate your low ticket offer. I'm not going to get into that right now, but you want to validate your low ticket offer and prove that it sells just by selling it on its own before you go creating other stuff. But that is a topic for another video. I'm happy to put that together. So the second mistake that people make is using random crap for their order bumps. So they know what they're going to offer on the front end. And then what they do is they say, right, so I need, let's say, 2 order bumps for this funnel. And they'll do the same thing, right? They'll be like, oh, well, I made this thing ages ago. I made this random thing. They don't say it like that, but they might as well say it like that. And they'll just want to throw existing stuff that they've got in there as order bumps. And again, this is not how it works. Your order bumps should be created specifically for that slot in the funnel, right? Now, there's a reason why. And again, it's because they have to be built for purpose. You want these to convert. Well, there's a couple of reasons really. First of all, you want them to convert because you make more money. So your order bumps are going to convert higher if the right thing is in the right place in comparison to if you just throw some random shit in that spot, right? So you're going to make more money. Secondly, you want your order bumps to kind of accelerate that ascension process so that the person actually becomes a client. And a lot of the time, people don't think about this. They just think about how do I get that front end conversion? But that's not all you want to think about. The real G's know. The real G's know, right? You can use your bonuses, you can use your bumps, you can use everything to get people into that back end offer. And that's what will make you the big bucks. That's what will give you a high conversion rate from front end to back end, right? But I was saying, so you want your order bump to be the right thing in the right place. Now, here's what you essentially want it to do. You want it to be one of these two things. So you either want it to help them get the front end result quicker, or easier. So, like, for example, if I was, let's say, if on the front end I was selling a training on this, right? How to build a low ticket offer. An order bump could be something like sales page script, right? Ad swipes, templates, swipes, things like that tend to work really well. You don't want to go with like some big long training as an order bump. You want it to be a real impulse purchase that just helps them get a result quicker and they can use it really quickly as well. That's a big thing. Yeah. So you either want that front end result quicker and easier, or you want something that solves a specific problem that relates to whatever the front end offer does. Okay. So either it helps them get that front end offer, like exactly what the low ticket product does. This helps them do that quicker and easier, or it helps them solve a problem that is directly tied to that. Yeah. So just to go back to that example that I was using a second ago, if I'm selling a product on how to create a low ticket offer, my order bump could be if I was doing this one, right? It could be like a custom GPT that will ask you 5 questions and then give you the perfect front end offer, right? So that's directly related to that front end result, but it helps them do it easier, right? Or if I was going to use this one, okay, it could be like, for example, it could be a step-by-step Facebook ads walkthrough, or it could be ad swipes, yeah, or it could be it could be sales page scripts, it could be like VSL templates, whatever. Something where it's not directly the front end result, but it's going to address something that the person knows they're going to have to do. Yeah. So something directly related to it, but not necessarily the exact front end result. So that's what you want your order bumps to do. Now, number 3, and this is a big one. This is a big one. And that is the upsell, right? The mistake is the same mistake as the previous two, right? Using random crap for the upsell. So with your upsell, I'm going to go on a little bit of a tangent again here, but like this will be valuable for you if you actually take it in. with your upsell, typically, you can have one upsell in your funnel. Some people have two. You see, sometimes people have three, right? Three upsells. If you've ever like gone through a low ticket funnel, you don't actually have to have an upsell at all these days. I have seen some people kind of smashing it just with the front end offer and the order bumps. But I would recommend, if you're starting out in today's environment, I would have one upsell priced between, like, depending on your niche, $100 to $200. Now, the reason I only recommend one is, as people go through your funnel, they're going to experience like decision fatigue. So the first decision that a customer makes is they land on your front end sales page, right? And they have to decide, do I buy this product? Do I not buy this product? And, a certain portion of people are going to buy the product. Then what's going to happen? They get to the checkout, there's some order bumps. Those are decisions, but they're quick and easy decisions, so I wouldn't worry about those. Then when they buy, they're going to land on the upsell page. Okay. Now, the person's really probably going to try and process this, especially if it's $100, $200. They're going to kind of think it through. They might read the page, they might listen to the video, and then they're going to decide yes or no. Now, I'm not going to get into like conversion rates and stuff like that, but they're going to decide yes or no. But they're still going to pay enough attention across the board in order for you to make a lot of money from your upsell. Your upsell will be the biggest money maker in your funnel. All right. But when you hit them with another upsell, by that point, they've already had to make two decisions. Now you're hitting them with another one. Typically, your second upsell is going to convert absolute dog shit, right? And then if you have a third upsell, like you're really just trying to squeeze as much money as possible out of people at that point, right? And then the problem is, after that, so you've got like the fifth page of the funnel, you have your thank you page where you offer the person to book a call, right? Because that's what you want to be doing. Don't use your thank you page as like a receipt, just as an order confirmation, right? On your thank you page, you should be offering the person to book a call, get them into a 5 grand program, a 10 grand program. Too many people waste that real estate of the thank you page. Now, here's the problem, right? When somebody buys your front end offer, they are in a yes mindset. Like they've decided to take action, they've decided to buy your product. Now you hit them with another decision, which is the upsell. And they might take it, which keeps them in a yes mindset, or they might say no, right? Which kind of brings them out of that yes mindset a little bit, right? But they've said yes once, they've said no once. Now, when you hit them with another upsell and they say no, right? Now they've said yes once and no twice. Then you hit them with another upsell, they've said yes once, no 3 times. And then you offer them to book a call, you've put them in a trend of saying no. And I don't know about you, but I buy low ticket stuff all the time. I'm like a compulsive buyer. If I see anything that can remotely, look like it helps me, I'll just buy it. But by the time you get to that second upsell, third upsell, like you're not even reading it. I'm scrolling for the no button. I'm just thinking, piss off by that point, right? You're probably the same. The first upsell, I'll take a little look, have a little look what they got. And then after that, if I get hit with another one, I'm just scrolling to find the no button. Get hit with another one, scrolling to find the no button. No one's going to book a call at the end of that process, right? And the goal of this funnel is to book calls. You want to get the buyer, you want to liquidate your ad spend, and you want to book a call. So there's no reason to have more than one upsell if your bumps and your first upsell are converting. Anyway, that was a massive rant. Okay. But the point I'm going to make is, with your upsell, again, you have to have the right thing in the right place. You cannot just pull something out of the archive, put it in this spot, and think that you're going to crush it, right? Like, even if you make some sales, chances are that the thing that you pull out of the archive is not going to convert people into a high ticket client, right? Remember what I said before. If you really want to get high conversions, everything within your funnel should be designed to get people into your back end offer. Now, all the time I see people, they're thinking of what should I put in my funnel for $200? And this is the number one kind of spot in the funnel where people say to me, oh, I've got this massive course that I did, right, 6 months ago. I've got this massive course that I did a year ago. Nobody wants a massive course on anything, right? Especially not on the same thing that they've just purchased the low ticket product for. Yeah, if you're selling a low ticket product that helps with diet, and then you hit them with a $200 course on diet, well, they're not going to be interested because they're like, well, let me try this cheap thing first, right? So you have the wrong you have the wrong upsell in place if you hear a lot of your customers saying, let me try this first, let me use this first, let me get through this first. That means that you have the wrong thing in place as the upsell. Or if you're contacting them with regards to being a client and they're saying, let me go through this first, let me consume this first, that typically means you're probably offering the wrong thing on the front end. Yeah. But especially the upsell. Like you want them to buy the product, blast through it, and then want to work with you. That's what a low ticket offer should do. So for the upsell, no 10-hour courses, guys. All right. Tattoo that to your brain, right? No 10-hour courses. Nobody wants that crap. Here's what you want to do. Okay. There's a couple of things that can work really well. So either you want like a DIY, kind of like a bundle, but if possible, you want to kind of like have done for you elements in there or elements that are framed as done for you. So just for context, right? I've got a low ticket offer, the $1 Million Book Method, right? Where we help people write and scale a book funnel to grow their business. So that's $5. But the upsell is the rapid launch kit. Yeah. So they get the funnels and the ads and the templates and this and that. Now, some of that is framed as done for you. So it's kind of like the funnel is done for you. You've just got to plug your copy in. Yeah. So it's not actually done for you. It doesn't require anything from us. But if you can put things in your offer that are kind of framed as like, this is almost done for you, so it takes away loads of the work, that can convert really well. Okay, so you want a DIY bundle that basically helps them get the front end result. Now, let me just backtrack a little bit. So your actual front end offer should be a piece of the pie that gets them like a smaller result. Yeah. Your order bumps, you want them to help them get that front end result quicker and easier. Now, the upsell should be like a DIY solution to help them get the end result, the big result. That's how you warrant that kind of like $200 price point. Yeah. Because you have to get people to just make this purchase as an impulse purchase. Okay. And to get someone to drop $200, unless obviously they have money, but most people don't typically want to spend $200 for no reason, right? So in order to get somebody to just drop $200 on an impulse purchase, you have to promise them like a big result or give them certainly a level of help towards getting a big result, not just a little result. Okay. So you either have a DIY bundle that helps them get that front end result, or what you can do is again a DIY bundle that helps them solve the next problem. I've just realized I'm going off screen there. Okay, it helps them solve the next problem. So let me give you another example of this. I have a low ticket offer right now, which is called the 1 hour low ticket launch. And it helps people, you know, come up with their low ticket offer, put their funnel together, launch their ads, validate their offer in under an hour. Okay. Now that's only the first step of our process. Validate your offer. Yeah. And that's $17. However, when people buy that, our upsell is a product called the Ascension Code, which is essentially a bundle that goes through the strategies that we use to take somebody from a low ticket buyer to a high ticket client. Yeah. Now I'm not trying to sell this right now. It might sound like that, but I'm explaining the logic behind it. Yeah. So someone's going to go through the low ticket product, or they're going to purchase the low ticket product because they want to launch their low ticket offer. Yeah. Then the framing of it on the upsell pages, right? This is going to help you launch your low ticket offer. But here's the thing, right? Like getting low ticket buyers is not the hard part. The hard part, and the part that so many people mess up with, is actually taking those low ticket buyers and then getting them to buy your $10,000 thing, right? So you see the way it solves that future problem. Yeah. And then you say, in this product, right, we're going to show you exactly how we take these low ticket buyers, which you're going to have once you go through what you just bought. You're going to have these low ticket buyers, but this is going to show you how to actually turn them into clients. Because if you can't turn your buyers into clients, you're not going to make any money. Right. So that's an example of solving a future problem. So ask yourself, right, take the result that your front end offer helps people get, and then ask yourself, once people get that result, what's the next issue? And again, this should be like a part of your process. Yeah. You should only help them get that initial win. What's the next problem going to be that they're going to face? And then your upsell should help them solve that problem. Anyway, I hope you took some notes on this stuff. All right. That's everything for this video. So we got your front end should naturally lead into the back end. Don't use random crap for order bumps, right? It should help them get the front end result quicker and easier, or solve a problem that directly ties to the front end result. Number 3, don't have a massive course as your upsell. Okay. Have a bundle that either gets the front end result or the main end result that they want as quickly as possible, or solves the next problem. Okay. Again, guys, like I touched on earlier, if you want to check out a training where I kind of run through this whole funnel like in way more detail, I pretty much run through how to actually like build out this entire system. Have a little look in the description below. I'll leave a link. You can check out that video. But that's everything. So I will catch you on the next one. Take care.